Today I'm going to review the new album by Saor called Amidst the Ruins, and normally for this type of album I would just do a short review and include it in my new metal review series, but I was able to listen to this one early, and all the other albums that I had been planning to review didn't come out until Friday, so I decided why not. Let me do a full review because I've never listened to this band before. All I know is I've heard another channel named Hammerheart Metal Reviews. He talks about this band a lot, he gives them a lot of praise, and I like the music that he listens to. So even though it's not the type of music I gravitate to, I'm open to listening to some new stuff. That's why I decided to give this one a go. So this review is going to be from someone who is fairly new to black metal, but I'm completely new to this band. This is my first time listening to this band. And you'll notice that when I talk about the tracks. Let me give you some background on the band for anyone who's unfamiliar. They're an atmospheric black metal band from Scotland. You may notice I talk about the music. I will be mentioning some of it actually sounds like traditional Scottish music. The name is Saor, or I think the correct pronunciation is Saor, but I'm just going to say it how I say it. But basically it means free and unconstrained in Scottish Gaelic. It's also a one-man band where he does everything. The guy's name is Andy Marshall. I think the exception is the drummer, who is Carlos Vivas, and you'll see him in a drumming clip I'll show later. But he also has these guests who are classical musicians, and I'll talk about them as I go through the songs. He describes the music as Caledonian metal, which is just another way of saying Scottish metal. Another thing to keep in mind that even though they are a black metal band, they're not very dark and satanic, not that type of thing. It's more songs about Scottish history, nature, poetry, sorrow. It's not that dark and evil stuff. It's all this nature and natural life and all that. That's what it's all about. So it's pretty cool. And sometimes it sounds dark and evil. Other times it sounds like classical music or folk music. Lots of twists and turns. Lots of things going on. And so let me just jump right into the review, and I'm going to go track by track. First track is the title track. It was what I expected from the band. It was very atmospheric black metal. Lots of fast drum beats, lots of layers of sound. It was almost like classical music. The drumming made it sound like black metal. The instrumentation gave it another type of sound. When I heard the vocals come in, it was what I expected, black metal style vocals that are mixed low, and they incorporate these folk elements such as wind instruments. Now, keep in mind, this is a 12-minute song, so I'm expecting a lot of changes in the song, and that's what I got, and that was what I got. So there were even moments when they had some isolated instruments. I think the drumming plays a really big part in the sound because there are a lot of those fast-paced blast beats, but the music had more of this folk music quality. I also found a lot of the instrumentation to be very melodic. You have to listen closely to understand what's going on because they like to keep adding in these different instruments. One of the key moments from the song came in at about 7 minutes when the song took a darker turn. And they start to play some melodies with these wind instruments. Like I said before, the drums play an important part, or the absence thereof, as some sections are without drums that makes the other instruments stand out. I also heard chugging guitars at one point in the song, so that's always a good thing. Another thing I noticed is that they are a Scottish band, and I could hear influences from Scottish folk music. As the song ended, I heard some female vocals done by Ella Zlotos, who is a German singer and songwriter. The next song is called Echoes of the Ancient Land. This one sounded more like traditional black metal with the dark sounds and fast tempos, but they still incorporated their folk sound into the mix. It was not all straightforward black metal. There were some instrumental sections that were just wind instruments and violins and stuff. So they definitely take lots of twists and turns in the music. The song has some clean singing, both male and female. Kind of remind me of some of the other folk bands I've heard in the past. The band does a good job blending these different styles of music that creates this unique sonic soundscape. The song has Angela Moya Serrat on violins. She's a Spanish classical violinist, and she played on the first 2 tracks. And I find it pretty cool that these classical musicians are collaborating with black metal bands. I guess it might be more common than I thought. And another classical musician who plays the viola named Miguel Izquierdo, and a cellist named Samuel C. Ledesma. I believe they're both Spanish. And the song has a long run time, close to 12 minutes. It's filled with different classical music pieces with traditional black metal, and there were cool drum rolls towards the end of the song as well. The third track is called Glen of Sorrow. This sounded like some dark classical music with very sad and depressing notes played very low. Has a very ominous feel. The song progresses. They incorporate different instruments, playing dark and ominous tones. Starts to feel more like black metal as they bring in some drums and guitars. But so far, everything's very dark and atmospheric. At this point in the song, they're bringing some flutes into the mix. Once the vocals come in, it sounds like traditional black metal. But they also add in these chanting, gives it a weird medieval sound or something of that nature. It was pretty cool. The song also has some female vocals in the background, and the bass guitar can be heard very well. The song offers a mix of aggressive black metal with deep guttural vocals and tremolo pick guitar riffs in addition to some softer, more atmospheric sounds. It's a nice mix of heavy and light. The song is very good. There are many different instruments doing many different things. The next song is called The Sylvian Embrace. This one starts with some soft acoustic guitars, has some cello playing. The musician is named Jo Quayle. She is a London-based cellist. One of those songs that's very ambient in the first few minutes, so I was listening the first time, and I was kept in suspense. I was thinking at some point it's going to turn into this dark and evil black metal song, but I just listened and I heard more whispering voices and more ambient sounds, and the song had some female vocals, and the lyrics were just 4 lines of verse. The song also features soft and peaceful flutes, but contrary to my expectations, it didn't go full black metal. It was just 8 minutes of soft atmospheric music, so that's pretty cool. The last song on the album is called Rebirth. It's more of a traditional black metal song, has some folk metal elements on the sound as well. The song featured many classical musicians who played the first 3 tracks. It was a heavier song and had a faster drum beat, had a typical atmospheric black metal sound with tremolo pick guitar riffs and black metal style vocals blow in the mix. But the addition of wind and string instruments gave it a very atmospheric feel and made you feel like you're listening to this music outside in nature. It just makes you feel like you're in the middle of this forest. That's what I'm trying to say. There's so many different things going on with the music. Songs a mix of classical music and black metal. It was like the most and least black metal song on the album because there are lots of dark vocals and blast beats, but at the same time, lots of soft wind instruments, but somehow they were able to blend them together. The last part of the song had some traditional metal guitar playing and soft female vocals. So this band really knows how to add in different sounds. I even thought the last part of the song was very big, had this big and epic climactic feel. So when you're listening to it, it feels like you're coming to the end of this big journey, or at least that's how I felt listening to the song. So in conclusion, it was a pretty cool experience. I like the album a lot. It just had many different things going on, but it's the type of album I'll have to listen to multiple times to really get into it. I still enjoyed it upon first listen, so I think it's worthy of an 8 out of 10. Could go up by the end of the month, but there's definitely a lot going on. If you're new to black metal, it's probably something you should check out because it's not as overwhelming as maybe some other black metal bands might be. So give it a chance. That's all. In the meantime, check out this video right here. And thanks for watching. Please give the video a like. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe if you're not already. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.